All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. Time for some Wednesday wisdom. Wisdom of the Ages, reading from Dr. Wayne W. Dyer's Wisdom of the Ages, 60 Days to Enlightenment. And this is really about changing our lives, ladies and gentlemen, or continuing the process of increasing the quality of our lives as we go along. And you're never too young or old to do this, as Dr. Wayne Dyer says, and I totally agree. Now, today's subject and chapter was going to be kindness, around the poem "Do Not Weep, Maiden, for War is Kind," and it focuses on violence and war and why these things are bad. But if you're here on this channel, then that's kind of basic. We have talked about that in previous videos. It might have been on the Tuesday Tao, the Wisdom of the Tao series, and both of these series, Tuesday Tao and Wednesday Wisdom, are in playlist format, so you can go onto the channel and click playlists and go back and watch through the whole thing. But so I figured, instead of going into kindness today, because we know about violence and avoiding violence, and I think the key point on all of that being eliminating your personal participation in entertainment, whether it be video games, movie going, television, reading, and these kind of things, social media, that promotes violence or even reduces the value of human life by making killing or maltreatment an any form of entertainment. So that's a great point there. Is so often society nowadays has turned it into an accepted common thing. But I wanted to skip forward here to the chapter titled Visualization, because visualization is one of those key components to understanding how we can begin to take part in creating our lives with universe, with source, with the great force that there is. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. There we go. And so today's subject on visualization, I think, will go perfectly with yesterday's Tuesday Tao video about self-actualization and self-mastery, and being able to think a better way, changing your thoughts and changing your life, which is the title of the book we were reading yesterday. And be sure to check the descriptions in all these videos. I have these books linked, as well as my landscape paintings in the back, if you'd like to own one of those. Now, we'll dive right into this, ladies and gentlemen, and see how we can change our life by learning and discovering and researching through the wisdom of the ages with myself and Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. And today, with William James, an American philosopher, psychologist, and teacher. William James was a gifted writer in the fields of theology, psychology, ethics, and metaphysics. What could be a better group of subjects? All you need there is mystic. But William James lived 1842 to 1910. And there's this quote from William here that Wayne Dyer has selected for this topic of visualization. So we'll be able to begin now. There is a law in psychology that if you form a picture in your mind of what you would like to be, and you keep and hold that picture there long enough, you will soon become exactly as you have been thinking. And this makes me think of, I think it was Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. And Wayne Dyer always used to say, the secret of the universe. He would get all hyped up on stage, but the secret of the universe is what you think about expands. Remember that. I think we've mentioned that before in this series and the other series on this channel. So Wayne Dyer begins here by saying William James was part of an incredibly accomplished family. His father, Henry James Sr., was a highly respected philosophical theologian who developed his own philosophy based on the teachings of Emanuel Swedenborg. Never heard of Swedenborg. William's brother Henry, 1 year younger, became a world-class novelist who wrote Daisy Miller, The Portrait of a Lady, and The Ambassadors. Many consider William James the father of a modern psychology, the father of modern psychology. In this one brief statement, he offers a powerful tool for all of us to use each and every day of our lives. And it's like that's the important key here. It's like what we were talking about yesterday, or what we're always talking about. It's like, as we're going through life, it's like, if you form a picture in your mind of what you would like to be and keep and hold on to that picture, then it blossoms. You don't just think it one moment and it happens. It's like, this is a powerful tool for each of us to use each and every day in our lives. Not just to think about it once in a while, but like continually going through the process with this greater awareness and greater understanding of how to do and get where it is that we want to be, ladies and gentlemen. Arriving instead of striving so much. It is glorious, Wayne Dyer continues, in its simplicity. And when fully understood, it is also one of the great secrets of becoming exactly the kind of person you would like to be. Secrets and the keys of manifesting, ladies and gentlemen. Yet because of its simplicity, it is often ignored by those who attribute their unhappiness to factors such as bad luck, or the gods, or circumstances. You don't hear that much nowadays. It's just the gods that have, blame the gods. But it's like, this is also something we were talking about yesterday, is being externally controlled, instead of internally directed, attributing our happiness and unhappiness to factors outside of us rather than factors inside of us. That was me adding that. Wayne Dyer continues, factors such as bad luck, or circumstances, or the economy, or genetics, or family history, or potentially endless litany of excuses explaining their failures and flaws. William James was a much sought after lecturer in religion, philosophy, and psychology when he personally transformed from a non-scientific philosophy to a laboratory science. He abandoned the philosophy of determinism, proclaiming, "My first act of free will shall be to believe in free will. My first act of free will shall be to believe in free will." He refers to the statement at the beginning of this piece as a law in psychology. This process of forming a picture in our minds is often referred to as visualization. And so that's, this is another one of the key components, this, being keen about what it is that's going on in our mind and being smart about that, and then using that as an ability to respond to life with ability. And then you create a level of power within yourself that's, kind of metaphorical. This process is called visualization, this process of forming a picture in our minds, or thinking, what it is that we want to expand on, thinking about what it is that we want, rather than all of the random things that seem to flow through our train of thought. As you think, so this refers to the idea that is spoken about in the Bible, as you think, as a man thinketh, so shall ye be. This goes well beyond the idea of positive thinking, ladies and gentlemen. And that's where a lot of people get hung up. They're like, oh yeah, just talking about positive thinking here, and rainbows and unicorns and kitty cats, and everything's okay. And these people, it's unfortunate, I think, when you take that perspective, because you're not giving any credence, or, it's like you're not believing in the power that there is to truly take control, take your power back, and have an ability to affect and control your life. This isn't just trying to feel better. This is actually doing something about why you're not feeling better. And so, it can be easily mistaken by those who have yet to expand their minds in the fields of philosophy and psychology and metaphysics. And that's why we're here doing all this research. And so maybe it'll make it easier for somebody who hasn't the time or the drive to do what it is we're doing here. Seeking to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment, through a greater awareness and a greater understanding of the wisdom of the ages. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're getting value, consider smashing the like button and consider subscribing, and let me know what you think in the comment section. Mostly it's, it's a struggle between those who are willing to look for a solution and those who just want to wallow in their misery and not seek out solutions that take work and that take effort every day. Now, we'll continue. As you think, so shall you be. And it goes beyond the idea of just positive thinking. If you want to see your life at work, Wayne Dyer continues, at an entirely new level, I encourage you to discover how this law of visualization that we're talking about here today, about what you think about expands, how this law works for you. Seriously, if you want to see your life work in an entirely new level, I encourage you, Wayne Dyer encourages you, every smart person throughout the ages with great wisdom encourages you to discover how this law works for you. We think in pictures, Wayne Dyer continues, just as we dream in pictures, not words, sentences, or phrases. Like when you think of a trash can, you don't think TRASH, you see the image of a trash can instantly in your mind. And there's more associated with it. Not words, sentences, or phrases, Wayne Dyer was saying, but mental images. These words are symbols enabling us to communicate or describe those pictures. It is this picturing process that William James is trying and is saying that you control with your free will. It's the opposite of the pop-in theory. Some people just think their thoughts just pop in and they have no control over it. Thoughts do pop in, but you control them of your own free will. If you learn, and if you can learn to hold those pictures long enough, this is where it gets mystical and magical. This is where real magic comes into practice, ladies and gentlemen. If you can begin to control your free will and then learn to hold these pictures long enough without allowing anyone to weaken them, without any doubt creeping in, you will actually convert those pictures into your reality. It sounds crazy, but when you begin practicing this stuff a few years in, you start to notice things that you were picturing that came forth. And sometimes it's not like, oh, I want a bunch of money. Like, you're thinking about how you're going to switch jobs or something for like 4 months. And the dominant thought through that process ends up being the solution that you act on and create. And then you end up in a position that you created from what you thought about. But that was just a example that I tried to give from my own personal experience. Now, they're not letting anyone weaken them. You will actually convert those pictures into your reality. You will become a co-creator of your very existence and all that shows up in your life. You'll become a manifester, ladies and gentlemen. You'll become the sage, or the, what was it called? The magician. There we go. You become the magician. Now, let us continue. I have written an entire book, Wayne Dyer says, called Manifest Your Destiny, on the principles involved in this process. And we'll get to that book one day. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. We got plenty of books. We got Real Magic, Manifest Your Destiny, Your Sacred Self. So many, Pulling Your Own Strings. You'll see it when you believe it. The way to your own personal transformation. Because, you know, oh, and then what do you really want for your children? An invaluable guide from the man who's helped millions. How to Raise Happy Kids, from Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. We'll go through all of these, and it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll change our lives. So we can reach a much higher quality of life. But Wayne Dyer continues here. He goes, what I will do is offer you what I think of as the 4 R's, putting this idea to work beginning today. Here are the 4 R's in one sentence. What you really, 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 was that for really, 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 really want, you will get. Isn't that good, ladies and gentlemen? The first R stands for what you really wish. So he's going to break down. I didn't expect this kind of, this is fantastic. This is what we needed after yesterday. First R stands for what you really wish. Here is where you form a picture of what you would like in your life, such as promotion, new car, you know, switch to a better, higher paying job closer to home, or whatever it is that you're thinking of. Weight loss, non-addiction, or whatever. Once the picture is formed, you wish for it by seeing yourself in that position. So you've lost the weight, you're driving your new car, and you already own it. There's no doubt. You have to remove the doubt in this process. That's super key, because when we doubt, we block the flow of the universe bringing to us and us acting on what it is. You know, it's this co-creating process, and we don't want to block the flow with doubt. So we form this picture of what we would like in our life, such as a, and then once the picture's formed, we see ourselves in the position, driving the new car, or at your desired weight, or, you know, non-addicted, whatever it is. Everything you manifest begins with a wish based on an inner visualization. Excuse me. This is powerful, though, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you're picking up what we're putting down here, like Diamond says, because this is a boom to knowledge. This is a boom to wisdom, wisdom of the ages. The second R stands for what you really desire. The difference between merely having a picture in your mind that you wish for and a desire is in your willingness to ask for it. Ask and you shall receive is not just an empty promise. Whatever it is that you have wished for in your imagery, ask out loud, but privately, to receive. So Wayne Dyer's example is, God, I'm seeking for your cooperation in bringing this picture to me in a material way. Now you can use Tao, you can use Great Spirit, Universe, or you can just say without a name that I am seeking for cooperation. You know, you can meditate, you can be on a jog, but the privately point there, which you really desire, but privately, he says, out loud, which is important. You know, thoughts are things, but when you speak, it becomes even more of a thing in physical reality. And, you know, frequencies have an impact on reality. And sounds are frequencies. But what we're getting at here, the privately point is, he's saying you don't go around and take the energy away from what it is you're trying to manifest or create by telling everybody about it. Because then your energy goes to their, what their thoughts are. It transfers from you to somebody else because ego's getting involved in what somebody else might think. So, be careful with you may tell somebody, but try not to over discuss it. Try not to over discuss it. Do it privately. To receive. The third R stands for what you really intend. So we got really wish, really desire, the willingness to ask, and then what you really intend. Now you take the picture that you have wished for and asked for and have seen yourself in the position with no doubt, and you frame it into a statement. This is powerful. Hope you're getting this, ladies and gentlemen. You frame it into a statement of intention or will. It goes like this, from Wayne Dyer's example here. I intend to bring this picture into my world with the cooperation of whatever you, he finally says it. He's always using God or Tao, but he finally says whatever you prefer to name as the creative intelligence. There is no room here for doubt with such statements as, if everything works out okay. No, that is a viewpoint of doubt and worrying and not believing. You have to be, no, I don't believe in belief. But I believe in love. You have to have a knowing, a certainty that what I was singing there is a great song. I don't have faith in faith. I don't believe in belief, but you can call me faithless. But I still cling to hope, and I believe in love, and that's faith enough for me. Faith enough for me. That's beautiful. That's beautiful lyrics there. And so there's no doubt you have to have a certainty if you want to work with the creative intelligence, because the universe is impartial. If you're like, I don't have enough, the universe is like, I don't have enough. Here you go. And you're like, what? I still don't have enough. And it just keeps giving it to you until you realize what we're talking about yesterday and today. Whew, this is fantastic. These two videos could be really life-changing. So there's no room here for doubt with such statements as if everything works out or if I'm lucky. A statement of intention is based on the law that William James formulates for you at the beginning of this chapter. And we'll go back and remind you. There's one law in psychology, William James states, that if you form a picture in your mind of what you would like to be, and you keep and hold that picture there long enough, you will soon become exactly as you have been thinking. So we're going to the fourth R now. Really passionate. So we were really wish, really desire. So pretty much create the picture of what you want, see yourself in that position with no doubt. And then that was really wish, really desire is asking for it out loud. Really intend is going from desire to creating a statement of intention or will, usually writing it down. So this is what some people call a mantra of, whatever it is that you want, and you taking out the doubt. Then the fourth R here, really passionate. This is where energy comes in. The fourth R stands for what you feel really passionate about, or what I call the hardening of the will. You are unwilling to allow anyone to discourage your passionate purpose, Wayne Dyer says, or put a damper on your picture. You resist the negative opinions of others, and you remain silent as much as possible on what you intend to produce in your life. This is really the key to everything that I enjoy talking about here. This passion is what William James meant by, and you keep and hold that picture there long enough. Those who are really, 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 really accomplished at attracting into their lives all that they desire are by no means lucky. And see, this is the paradox. We look at these people and say, ah, he's just lucky. Right place, right time, or, things just don't seem to get to him like it does most people. Or, we create these excuses for why we can't have the power to create the exact lives that we wish we had, because we do have that power, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why I'm here today. So consider subscribing and share this with somebody who you think could use this in their lives. Continuing on, really, really, really accomplished at attracting into their lives what they desire is by no means lucky. It's not an accident. Or do their circumstances create their desires? They're beyond that. They have all 4 R's working for them at all times, and particularly the 4th R, really passionate. Virtually everything in my life, including all my books and tapes, Wayne Dyer says, are the result of applying this law in psychology from William James. I can't believe I never heard this before. He's talked about all these things. I've heard him talk about this, but never in the reference to William James. So this is fantastic. It all begins with the wish, Wayne Dyer says, and I agree. And apparently William James did too. And Lao Tzu even talks about it. Everybody who is part of the wisdom of the ages. I've yet to really get into the classical Greek philosophy. And I bet this is all in there too, ladies and gentlemen. But it's like the book, this book, Wayne Dyer says, began with a wish. I could write a book that interpreted the great wisdom of the people I've so admired all my life and what they offer all of us today, even though they've all left our planet. I actually saw a picture of the various poems and contributions at the top of 60 pages and my essays to you, the reader. Then I expressed the desire to my wife and my agent, along with my editor, at the same time that I asked for the ability and the cooperation of the universe in bringing it about. This was followed by an intention, see, move to intention, which you really wish, really desire, really intend, really passionate about, followed by the intention to create such a book that I relayed to the various people and departments involved in the publishing process. Some liked it, some were a bit skeptical, telling me all the reasons that poetry analysis were not popular, and some discouraged me. I had my picture of the book, and I loved the idea of bringing these great masters to my readers' lives, and I hope you've loved this series, ladies and gentlemen, because I've loved the idea as well. And it's funny what he's describing, because that's kind of how I got here today. 180 pages into the wisdom of the ages on this channel in this series, so that we can in turn learn in the same way that he is describing here. I loved the idea of bringing these great masters, he says, to his readers' lives, to my life. And I love the idea of bringing this great master with all these great masters to my listeners' lives. Finally, Wayne Dyer continues, my passion took over, and it was impossible for me to ignore my picture. As I set out, I'll say for myself, at the beginning of this year with the idea of practicing the art of showing up, I knew that my passion took over, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, regardless of what the discouragement that the mind comes up with that you have to defeat. As William James said, Wayne Dyer said, it became impossible for me to ignore my picture. As William James said, you will soon become exactly what you have been thinking. And here it is. And any of you that know me in my real life, you will see that my life has gone in a way of what it is that I have attempted to create for myself through this thought process through this process being described here today, as you can tell, I'm in no mansion and I'm no master of it. But maybe sometimes the external appearances, when you begin to get a little better at this process, you realize the external things are just that. And that, it's like what was being said in the Tao yesterday. When you finally have enough, then you are truly rich. You don't have to be rich to have enough. Anyways, I'll get back to the reading here. Loved the idea. I loved that he said that too, because it made me feel so great. Finally, as passion took over, you will soon become exactly as you have been thinking. And here it is, right in your hands, right in front of your eyes, ladies and gentlemen. The video, the book, I have this book linked below in the description, as well as my landscape paintings. That was also another process of co-creating exactly how this is exactly what we're talking about. The keys to manifesting. That's my line now. The key to this is putting all 4 R's to work and really using them. Now, what is it that you weren't willing to do to make it happen? Is my response to the question he frequently gets, wondering why something didn't manifest or materialize as pictured. It's like, what weren't you willing to do to make it happen? When the passion is there and you refuse to allow any interference from any external sources, nothing will stop you. According to William James, it is a law. To activate this law in your life, Wayne Dyer says, I suggest you implement the 4 R's. Here is his suggestions. Be willing to wish for anything you want. And this is why I have this link below, so you can get this for yourself and put it on your shelf, because everybody needs a bookshelf. It'll change your life. And there's these 4 recommendations at the end of each of these chapters. I don't know if it's always 4, but there's a way that we can apply this high up in the clouds kind of wisdom practically into our daily lives and begin to live the wisdom of the ages in a more enlightened life. Number 1, be willing to wish for anything you want. You are entitled to share the abundance of the universe. Refuse to limit yourself or see yourself as unworthy. You are a divine creation of God and are as much entitled to prosperity, love, and health as anyone who has ever lived on this planet. If you don't believe that, feel that, then that's the first area of work for you. Because when you get to a place when you realize, he goes, refuse to limit yourself or see yourself as unworthy. When you get to the place, ladies and gentlemen, my shirt's always, when you get to the place where you no longer see yourself as unworthy, but you know that you are worthy of everything that you have always desired, and that the universe is fully abundant and agrees on your worthiness, and you know that you are a divine creation of universe or God or Tao or Great Spirit, and you are as much entitled to prosperity, love, and health as anyone who has ever lived on this planet, because we are all part of the one. That's so good. Express your wishes, number 2, in the form of a request to your name or phrase for the creative intelligence that many call God. Be willing to ask for help, and don't be embarrassed to put your request in writing as well as voicing it. And ask, and you shall receive is not an empty promise. Now keep in mind for that one, because most people think about the idea of praying to something that is outside of them or external to them. Remember this internal process, and we are a part of it. We are it, and it is us. The force, the flow, the divine intelligence that is all things. So when you're doing this second one, expressing your wishes in the form of a request, and you're asking in writing as well as voicing it, think of asking something that you are a part of, rather than asking for something that is external, that's going to send what it is. Remember, we're co-creating. There isn't like a, it's, I don't know. I think you get from what I'm saying there. You're not asking for something from something that's greater than you. You are asking to align with what you already are and have the ability to be, and that already exists in the world. And all we're doing is aligning. Number 3, practice phrasing your request in terms that eliminate doubt. This is so powerful. Use words such as I will, I shall, and I will is even a future tense. So I am. Everybody knows the power of I am. I am that I am, ladies and gentlemen. I am, though. Be very careful, because when we're talking about these kind of subjects about your thoughts and what you think about creates your reality, and is the creator of happiness or whatever it is, it's like whatever you put behind the words I am, even if it's as simple as I'm stressed out, it's like you are co-creating. Wow, got that scar when I was little, slammed on the ice. It was looking standoutish there. It's like a combat scar, but sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I get distracted sometimes, as you can tell. Practice phrasing your requests in terms that eliminate doubt, using words such as I am, I will, I shall, I intend, rather than camouflaging your desires in wishy-washy terminology of language that seeks but doesn't expect to receive. The expectation, the certainty. Number 4, as much as possible, keep your pictures to yourself, along with your intentions to materialize them. When you encounter resistance, instead of using it to become discouraged, transform the negative feedback into the energy of your passion to bring your picture into clear and touchable focus, ladies and gentlemen. And that's it. Boom. Boom. That just gets me so pumped, because yesterday's video was so fantastic, and this one is pretty much a rundown of creating your life on purpose by becoming a co-creator. The creative power of visualization, from philosopher, psychologist, and mystic William James, and Dr. Wayne W. Dyer, and myself. This has been fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a fantastic week for recordings. I knew that I should skip forward to the visualization maybe sometime in the following weeks when it aligns with the Tao teachings. We'll go into laughter and we'll go into kindness. But for today, I thought this was most perfect. And I bet you totally agree, ladies and gentlemen. And if you got value, consider subscribing, smash the like button, and leave me a comment and let me know what you thought. Because it really means the world to me that you would take some time out of your day, out of your life, to try to increase the quality of your life. And even just spend it with me and Dr. Wayne Dyer and all the great authors and poets like William James in the wisdom of the ages, and like Lao Tzu in the wisdom of the Tao that we do on Tuesday. Continue, ladies and gentlemen, to seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment. Seek to discover the hidden wisdom of the ages and continue to make happiness the way, happiness the activity, and what it is that you bring to life. Because when we can begin to make happiness the way, ladies and gentlemen, the goal that we've so long been striving after, we will begin arriving there. And it will be greater than we ever thought before. And that goal will become irrelevant because we're already where we wanted to be, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Once again, expand the description, get yourself a copy of this book and purchase my landscape paintings, and also try out the C60 Purple Power. It's something I support greatly, and I've been using it for multiple years now. It's an ultimate health supplement, great antioxidant. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope that this makes a difference in your life. I know it makes a difference in mine. And so I don't know what else to say. I love you. I love rambling at the end. But we'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday Tao and Wednesday Wisdom. And until then, begin practicing the teachings that we've put down, that Wayne Dyer's put down, that Lao Tzu and William James put down in this wonderful week of the wisdom of the Tao and the wisdom of the ages.